That is right, guys. I have sold my Subaru WRX after 2 years of ownership and over 20,000 miles on the odometer. It was not an easy decision, but changes had to be made going into 2026. Now, I am not going to delay the inevitable here. Some of you guys can probably see what I'm in right now, just based off the fact I have a panoramic moonroof, maybe even some of the color options that I have here for the interior. So let's hop outside and check out what I have purchased, and then also after, go over why I made this decision. Introducing Boston Autoblog's first ever year-long tester to the channel, the 2026 Volkswagen Tiguan SEL R-Line Turbo. I did it, guys. I've been talking about this for months, going way back to October, but this was in the plans when this crossover was unveiled in LA last year, and when the press release came out in April. I've been thinking about this for about 8 months, and I'm so glad I pulled the trigger on this crossover. Over the next 12 months, we're going to check out this vehicle's long-term reliability, see if it really is the best crossover money can buy under $50,000. And actually, if I'm correct, that this is the compact crossover of the year. A lot more in this crossover to come in the upcoming days and uploads, because I have a couple more announcements coming for 2026. So stay tuned on that one. But while we're outside, I got sandstone, which is a really nice color for this vehicle. I was going back and forth on sandstone and avocado green. I'm happy I chose this color instead. In certain lighting, it kind of looks like chalk from Porsche, so I kind of like the idea of maybe getting a Cayman or a 911 with this crossover while it's still in my possession, but that's way too much of a stretch. I did go with Grigio, so I didn't go with the amber color. Grigio's a classier touch here to this crossover, and then obviously I got those paddle shifters, so I am very, very happy here with this vehicle. Answering the question as to why I traded in the Subaru WRX for the Volkswagen Tiguan SEL R-Line Turbo, it's a bit of a long story, and it's not solely a personal decision. It's not solely a business decision, although a lot of the business aspects and the incentives to doing this were most certainly in play. But there was a lot of motivations outside of Boston Autoblog that was like, you know what, Mike? It's time to make this move. It is time to take the next step and do something you've always wanted to do in your life and your career. Now, getting into the personal side first, because there's a lot to discuss here. I've been waiting for a crossover to come along under $50,000 that'll be fun to drive, that'll be luxurious, that'll be comfortable, and also practical. And the Volkswagen Tiguan checks off all those boxes. When I saw it released in LA, when I saw the press release in April, I'm like, you know what? I think Volkswagen has done it. I believe in this product. I might buy it. But it all came down to me reviewing one in, I think, late May, early June with the SE, and I'm like, all right, you know, I like this new platform. I like the new tech. I like all of this. I got to wait for the SEL R-Line Turbo. Then we fast forward to October. I experienced it without the paddle shifters, and I'm like, all right, you know, I could buy one of these, but we need the paddles, and that's why I kind of freaked out a couple of months ago. But buying a crossover was always in my plans. It just wasn't the Subaru WRX I was going to be traded in for a vehicle like this. On the business side, I've been wanting to grow. I've been wanting to expand. And one of the ways to expand is to get a year-long tester, a vehicle that I know that I can afford, that I can live with for 12 months. And if I like it, I'll keep it. If I don't, I'll trade it in at the end of the year. It's a vehicle that I can create a lot of content on. In fact, I think the Tiguan SEL R-Line Turbo is a very important vehicle in this market that still might be better than the new Toyota RAV4. That might be better than the new Mazda CX-5. Those are vehicles I'm looking forward to checking out in 2026, and more on that in a minute. Also, with the expansion, there will be another channel, and the Volkswagen Tiguan is going to be a part of that, and I'll get into more of that in an upcoming video, because we've got to do a more formal introduction for this crossover, a deeper dive into what the Tiguan is going to be offering all of us into the upcoming years for this generation. Also in 2025, and this is the basis of my motivation, really for what I want to do in the future, where I want to go in my life and in my career. In May, my grandmother passed away, which that alone changed up the whole complexion of the year and what we were doing for the holidays. And then 36 hours later, my closest friend passed away, tragically, and very unexpectedly. And I had talked to him 30 minutes earlier. And he was a friend that I could talk to all the time. I could talk to on things that are going on in my life. In fact, we had some very deep conversations a couple of days before. And I personally have not been the same since. It hit me really, really hard. This channel got me through all of that, but I'll tell you off camera, I was a bit of a mess. And I've had to ask myself a lot lately, where do I want to go in my life? What do I want to do? Right? Like, I'm getting up there in age. I'm 32 years old. It's time to make moves. It's time to make decisions. It's time to reach my full potential. It's time to achieve goals. And for Boston Auto Blog specifically, because I'm not going to get into the personal side of my life, but for Boston Auto Blog, I know for a fact that I am nowhere close to where I want to be. I've told myself many times over the last 2 years, I got to be better. I got to be better. But I could never quantify it. It could never materialize. And it really didn't happen until later this year when I started doing the Car of the Year award. And I realized that I made a few mistakes there, not with my award winners, but heading into 2026, my Car of the Year category starts January 5th when I get back to work. And I'm really looking forward to this. I want your input on all of this because I want to do the individual awards too. That was a last minute decision, but I want to really get the Car of the Year award correctly. And the Car of the Year award also opened my eyes to some other opportunities throughout the year as well. Now, getting into the lighter side of things and looking forward to 2026, what do I want to do? What am I excited about? What cars do I want to check out? Well, we got to start off with that Toyota RAV4 because I love the Camry and the RAV4 should be a crossover version of the Camry. I have high expectations for that crossover. The Mazda CX-5 is next. Now, I think the Tiguan is the best compact crossover, the best full gas-powered compact crossover with its performance, with its handling, with its styling, and also its technology. Mazda may give Volkswagen a run for its money, and I'm very intrigued by that vehicle. I hope Mazda nails it because they did a fantastic job with the last generation CX-5 and CX-50, and looking at what they've done with the CX-70 and CX-90, the sky's the limit with that CX-5. Now, another vehicle I'm really closely monitoring is the new Audi Q3. Built on the same platform as the Volkswagen Tiguan, it also has a very intriguing value proposition. Comes in below $50,000, has a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, 255 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque, paired with a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. I also think the styling is actually really nice too. That should be coming out in May, and one of the videos I want to make here with the Tiguan is comparing this to the Audi Q3 and comparing this to the Audi Q5, because I think this is the better deal here in its class and also in the family of Volkswagen and Audi products. Then, of course, we can't forget about that Honda Prelude. I am excited for that car. I cannot wait to check out what this Prelude has to offer. One actually already sold here, up here in the Boston area. Deep down, I actually think it might be successful. Now, I'm not going to boldly claim that because, we have seen some cars that look like they're going to be successes and then they're huge flops. But there's something telling me the Prelude might actually become a popular car in its class and segment. And then lastly here, heading into 2026, I'm excited to get starting new and having a clean slate. It was why I sold the Subaru WRX. The WRX was associated with a lot of negative emotions, negative memories, and to be honest, when I signed the papers over for the Volkswagen Tiguan and trading in the WRX, there was this feeling of relief. Sometimes you'd be like, maybe buyer's remorse, seller's remorse. No, that wasn't the feeling here with the Subaru WRX. Getting the Tiguan, I feel hopeful for the future. I feel like I now am on the right path here heading into 2026, and I'm excited. I can't wait to start creating content on the Tiguan and start creating content on my Car of the Year vehicles because we got to get started in 2026. There's a number of cars that are starting to hit the lot here heading into January. So my work's cut out for me. There's a lot of work that needs to be done here over the next 12 months, and I'm ready to get started. So guys, I hope you're ready to embark on this journey with me for Boston Auto Blog, because it's going to be a long year. It's going to be a very long year filled with vehicles, reviews, and everything else in between. Also, of course, that other channel, which I'll discuss in further detail in 2026. But guys, thank you so much for joining me in 2025. It was a ride. It was most certainly a ride. A lot of highs, a lot of lows, but a new start's coming. A new start's coming. I'm not going to say I'm looking forward to 2026. I've learned my lesson here. We're just going to take things one day at a time. But guys, once again, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in 2026.